Hello, my beautiful little Moglets. Today we're talking about Lilibet, if you should summon for her, and my personal thoughts on the hero. So she'll actually be having her raid up soon. So for you guys around my time zone, so the Europe time zone, she'll be out tonight. Here we can take a quick look at her. I think she's supposed to have some kind of introduction video here, but that doesn't work for some reason. But yeah, so first of all, she is extremely cute. I'm going to be pulling for her just because of that. Her skill set doesn't really interest me, to be honest. She does have a unique skill, but yeah, maybe 100 summons or so. That's the first thing to consider. If you're a waifu collector, or you just really like her design, go for it. I think that's a big part of these games, you know, if you're not in it also for the visuals, like what's the point? So now we're talking numbers, skill set, mechanical things, pretending she was just zeros and ones. She's an earth elemental warrior. We actually don't have too many of those. At this point, I think the warrior aspect doesn't really mean much anymore, except for what artifacts they can have equipped on them. Because honestly, you know, we have warriors like Ravi, where she can be like a bruiser. She can do a ton of damage, but also take some damage. And then warriors like Shermia, where she's kind of more like a glass cannon. Her stats speak for that as well. So warrior, I don't even know. She's basically just an earth type. So her first skill, Slice Slice. Strikes and slices the enemy with a 35% up to 50% chance to make them unable to be buffed for 2 turns. It's a decently high chance and it's for 2 turns. So it's on default, but unable to be buffed. It's not that good of a debuff. It's niche. It comes in handy sometimes, but then like definitely not anywhere as useful as like defense break or even attack down or stun for PvP situations, you know. So many other good things that could be there, but for the places where unable to be buffed is powerful, I guess it's okay, but again, nothing super special. I mean, actually, technically, it probably is pretty special. I don't think there are many heroes that can place this debuff, but regardless. Her second skill, Snip Snip. We're only going to focus on after awakening, of course, because, you know, it's not super hard to awaken. Brutally cuts the enemy with a up to 50% chance to inflict 4 bleeding effects for 2 turns, deals additional damage when the target isn't buffed. So when I first saw this skill, I was like, damn, that might be pretty good to pair with Baiken. They're both earth elementals, so they would work in the same places earth types would. Unfortunately, low chance. It's way too low of a chance for it to be super consistent, you know? That really should be like 100% chance at max, maybe 3 bleeds then though. It doesn't say here. I'm not sure if this is always the same or not, if she has a 50% chance per bleed, or if it's all or nothing. If it's all or nothing, it's horrible, you know? 50% chance, that skill is practically useless. If it's like, you know, you get an average of 2 bleeds, it's not that bad, but still not that good either. So hopefully she gets buffed to increase this to at least like 75%. If that were the case, she'd pair pretty well with Baiken for boss killing, I would say. Some bosses, perhaps. But yeah, as it is now, it's really not that interesting. Also, of course, not sure how much additional damage she'll deal when the target isn't buffed. It does seem like a pretty easy condition to fulfill a lot of times. So if the multiplier there is pretty high, we're gonna check the skill data and see if all this is in there. I'm not too sure, but we'll check that after we're done talking about her skill set. And then, of course, the main thing about her is Soul Cutter. She'll slash the enemy with Cho and Mal, inflicting extinction when the enemy is defeated, which means they cannot be revived. I believe there was some debate whether this can be resisted or not, but I'm 99% sure it cannot be because they'll be dead at that point. And also, if we head back over to Epic 7 here, head to the journal, search up Lilibet, you can see she's actually already in the game. The extinction is not like a typical debuff. It's more like a passive skill that just happens. Like the typical debuffs are in red, this just seems like an extra effect not to be resisted. So I'm almost certain of that, but I guess we won't really know until she's in the game. So yeah, it sounds pretty amazing for PvP and all those revivers. The bad thing about this is her stats. If we go to fully max, fully awakened, she has, you know, 1119 attack, 15 crit chance, you know, no extra offensive stats from awakening pretty much. She gets some attack there. I think it's 1 awakening. But you can see she gets like a ton of health, no extra speed, some defense. Well, not very much defense actually, but no more crit chance. So to actually get that crit chance high, you might need a crit chance necklace unless you're super lucky with substats, or give her like 3 crit chance sets. But you know, yeah, and then at that point, you know, she's going to be slow, so she's not going to punch that hard with Soul Cutter. Probably enough for someone like Moonlight Vildred, Probably, I assume most people are going to build him very glassy because, of course, especially after his buff, he's gonna, you know, have full combat readiness and whatever, so it might almost be like that people want him to die, because then it's like guaranteed his turn, he can do his ult again, and yeah, so she could probably one-shot Vildred if built well enough. Also, probably most other damage dealers, but you know, if there's like more than one dangerous unit on the enemy's side and a reviver, you can only really guarantee one of them isn't getting revived. So in those sort of situations, I'm sure she can be decent. It's just, again, with those starting stats, everything how it is, it's gonna be, I would say, pretty hard to one-shot. You can soul burn for 10 souls, which increases the damage. Again, we're gonna be checking the skill data after we're finished talking with her, which actually I think we are. So let's go ahead and head over to skill data spreadsheet. Lilibet is in fact in here. So her skill 3 has a 1.8 multiplier with 2.4 as soul burn, which actually is quite decent. I would say it's a bit above average. The POW is 0.95, which means at the very, very end of all of her damage, it will get reduced by 5%, or rather the total damage will only be 95% of what it would be with a 1 POW, for example. In fact, if these numbers are right, that's a pretty high soul burn. So maybe it's a little bit too early to tell. Oh, and also we can see here 20% increased damage if the target has no buffs. So a decent multiplier, I would say, for a not super hard to activate passive. So looking at other single target ults, we have like Soul here with his 1.6, but he doesn't have a gimped POW, even though I do think Lilibet's is much higher. Baiken 1.8 soul burn. Shermia's a 1.65 soul burn. Damn. I thought it was much more than that, but she does also pierce 50% defense. I have a little bit more hope now for her ability to one-shot with that massive 2.4 soul burn. I mean, we have Dizzy with 2.5, but that doesn't count. It always misses, which of course will give it a 0.7 modifier, no crit. But yeah, I'm trying to find any other ults with that high of a soul burn. So here is Charlotte with 2.4. Who is that? Yeah, okay, she also doesn't count. She's a knight. Stats aren't actually bad though. That's why those typings don't seem to matter. Like the knight has as much attack as the warrior. Oh geez, and that's an AoE. But the thing is, for that 2.4 multiplier, she needs 5 focus, which, you know, she gets 2 from her second, 1 from her basic, so she needs to do second and then this 3 times. So she really doesn't count. Karen's got a 2.3 and a 50% crit damage multiplier. Geez, Ravi has 2.5 soul burn on basic. That's pretty crazy. It's probably why it takes 20 souls though. Oh, Assassin Coley has a 3 on her soul burn. But 0.8 POW. Says has got a 3.2. So yeah, basically there are definitely some units with a pretty high soul burn, but 2.4 with a 0.95 POW definitely does seem decent. I always say she can one-shot a lot of, you know, squishier attack type units. So personally, if you're on the fence, I would wait a few days, wait until some reviews come out. I'll probably be doing one of my own, trying her out. But then again, I'm just some scrub in like, challengers, I think. So as long as there is a reviver and a squishy damage dealer, you know, on the enemy side, I would say she's going to be pretty good for it. So of course, also we have to consider the new artifact, Creation and Destruction, because that will be in the pool as well. I don't think it's very good, to be honest. It's way too RNG for anything like PvP. It's still kind of RNG for PvE situations where you're going to be having a lot of turns. And of course, it would be awesome when it does happen. So for maybe something like this new automaton tower, where you may have to retry one floor over and over, and this artifact could, with enough luck, get you through a stage because your important skill just keeps going off cooldown. So I guess for situations like that, definitely could be quite good. It's just, you know, it starts at 10% chance. It might go up to like 12.5 before you have to invest more cards into it. And then at max, it's only 20. So it's really not that much. It's for warriors exclusively, which, I mean, Lilibet's a warrior, so it makes sense. But so that is a bit of a shame. I can imagine a card like this could be super good for more supporty type heroes, like healers or so. Alongside the drop rate, we're gonna get another side story, as it usually is with new heroes. There's gonna be a story. Yeah. Rewards, as it usually is. I just kind of skimmed through this, to be honest, since it's always the same as far as I'm aware. You farm the stages, you get the currency, you buy the stuff. The Mulgore seed's always nice. The catalysts are always nice. Those reputation rewards, that's how the side stories go. But that's actually pretty much it. not too much else to say. I'm surprised how many accounts they banned. Actually, I saw that a little bit earlier. 174,000. Wow. I wasn't aware that many people are playing for 174,000 to be banned, you know? I don't think that many people are cheating or using, you know, illegal modifications or programs or something. 174,000, but yeah, pretty cool. Always nice to see justice served. Oh, I see. Yeah, I actually did see some people up there, like some level 40s, and I'm like, damn, that dude must be a massive whale to be able to clear the entire, you know, as one of the first ones, clear the entire tower that fast, being like a level 40. Because with level 40, you know, you haven't run that many places, you know, enough to get like perfect gear for all the different heroes you need for those different pieces of bosses and whatnot. So yeah, okay, I had a suspicion, but that kind of confirmed it there. And that's pretty much all the news. So final verdict on Lilibet summons. Well, okay, so it depends, you know, how it usually is. Wait to see her damage potential, even though it could kind of probably be calculated, but that doesn't really mean much in a real world scenario. I'm gonna try for her, and if we get her, we're gonna raise her. You know, we're always raising fodder, so we should have something. And then I'll probably post a Lilibet's raised video, but I'm not gonna try too hard for her, I guess. I usually give up on most heroes after about 100 to 150 summons, maybe a little bit before that if I'm not super stoked for them. But yeah, we'll try. I would say basically if you're lower in arena and you're a newer and you don't have that many units yet, stay away from this banner for sure. If you're a lot higher into arena and you can see where she could maybe slot in every now and then for an arena battle, then yeah, go for her. I would say she definitely can be best in slot versus some comps, especially ones with Moonlight Vildred, which is gonna become common now since he is probably one of the best Moonlight heroes. But yeah, those are my thoughts on if you should summon and Lilibet in general, I suppose. Make sure to tell me what you think in the comments down below. Leaving a like if you happen to enjoy is always greatly appreciated as well. You can also subscribe if you want. We recently passed 50K. Very, very grateful to all you guys. Made a little community post, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, super, super cool. Thanks a lot for that. And yeah, that'll do it though. I already did my outro.